And hello everyone. Hello one. Keep. Yine had no time on weekends and during the Friday evening. Same as usual. Yeah, what I don't like what's happening in this game. Why is the hell this Triton is against us? So the game was called versus Professor Layton. There's no versus against Layton. But look, Triton. Gosh, I really hate this guy. Alright, need to check this out. Hold on. Hello, Mother Carla. Test. It's working. Now, wait a second. Yes, it is. Skimmed this, of course. Have no idea where they imagined some kind of knife here, when it was just his hand. Let's see. Heard a scream and an incantation. And then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. And that's not a lie. That's actually what happened, despite I don't remember incantation. Perhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silkhart had a knife at the ready in his hand, so knife did not exist here. Hello, Marker.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think they quarreled? So I believe she saw this pointing finger, and that's why decided. Wait a second, she looks like a witch in this set. Look at her. In this case, she's simply lying. The other day, I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with? And the other guy, this butler, he also is the killer. At least he framed us. Now everyone, listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. Let's say now we'll be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People would not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. That's completely correct. Kids in your class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh dear me, what I saw in that room colored the blood in my veins. Mr. Silkhart was pointing that glittering knife ever so threateningly. You? But why you?
Hang on!
Is everything okay, look? No, of course it's not okay. Professor was a true gentleman. And no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. Couldn't agree more. Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I am a liar? You chicken little whippersnapper. The professor would never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright? What is it? I think there was some important information in Miss Brimstone's testimony. Really? I'm sorry, it's not my place to say things like that. Didn't notice anything. Who could that be? What was Speller about to say? But what's the point in leaving it for later? Because, for example, you would like to check other testimonies. Maybe, but I don't want to. Speller, why don't you tell us all what you've noticed? Oh, is that the key? Just something I'd like to ask Miss Brimstone about. Hmm? Lukasevich! Impossible. But just go ahead and ask him. He's the robot. Excuse me, Miss Brimstone? Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you, Miss Espelicantabello. Miss Brimstone, did you actually see that knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. And most frightening sight it was, so. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now if you look at the sketch. What is on the left on the floor? Oh, the stuff. When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? That must have been the case, otherwise the witness would not have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? In the direction the professor was facing, it could be important. This information shall be added to the current record. I'm sorry, I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help. Why they're not showing how Maya's position? She was looking at, I don't know, this cycle, as well as Layton, I'm not sure. It looks more like dagger, not knife. No tool speller, you're able to get some more info, which may just come in handy. You think so? Now then, the next witness shall continue with their testimony. Victor of Magic, sparkly and done for. Heard the stuff fall on the floor. He was saying scream incantation. The professor must have been there and witnessed Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. Well, that's where I'm supposed to use it.
Objection!
Look, you say that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth. What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now we have learned from Miss Brimstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh. You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There's contradiction in your testimony. Did he change his opinion or not? Maybe not. Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room. One was a victim, thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Mr. Brimstone's testimony. She told us the professor was pointing a knife at someone, threateningly. Threateningly? Whatever. Threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who's he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Let's see. Look, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness, and I saw no knife. This Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Tell me, will you look at this child? Sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders? Inquisitor Burnham? Yes, my lord. It should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, the sparkling golden body of his has been found at the scene of the crime. Is it not? Indeed it was, my lord. Court attendants, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. Seems like they're going to bring the golden statue. Professor. So what happened to his hand? Look at that. Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! So this is about the gold transmutation. More spectacular. It looks like work of the finest artisans. I assure you, it is the work of no artisans, my lords. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. I couldn't believe this, Professor! I suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. The poor professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence. This is unfortunate. Thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we're still no closer to discern whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. Let me check. Turn into gold. Found the spell Golder. The right arm is missing. Maya? The professor didn't have a knife, and also there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too. Just believe me. Stop destroying the table. Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage, you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. It's not a possibility for a bird to forget that song when it's inside the cage. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or actually, it's the fact that captive birds stop singing inside the cage. Alright, no head such bird. Are you in particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone, and that person wasn't Maya. Cerebral Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise. You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hart was pointing at. What? Looks like not everyone. Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I am mere punching bag. Wait a second. The first. Love me some gossip and stories of the occult. Gosh, it's actually terrible that I and number one is actually the same in English. Elusive like mist. The magical beast. Its chilling breath brings about death. Under me, you could use some education tonight. Can offer you private tuition, whatever, but it will not come cheap. The professor wasn't confronting Maya. Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Simply same magic trick. This time, your luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. Truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. Even because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all the switches. What was the mystery? I didn't see any contradictions right now. The same magic trick was used. They're referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. And he was sitting next to the picture drawing, and there was a hole behind it. Wonder how culprit actually put the paint back on the wall on the other side, but should be possible. Had locked himself in his study, and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room, like there could not be some duplicate key. What are you talking about? And he was using the lock on the other side without any key. In this case, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilled all over the floor. Powdered medicine? Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. In the sort. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained. Yet there were none. It's a kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Then there were 2 unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death: the culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it could have been the mirror magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It's been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We'll have justice. What? No way. Now he thinks Mike killed the alchemist too. He went even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the 2 murders. Wait a second, but I see no connection. What are you talking about? Where the connection?
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, you went even... Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. all know what happened to that alchemist. Well, I'm sure that this is contradiction because all you know it was magic when it was not. Some place a magic trick. How the heck it can be same magic trick?
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Primestone? Could say I'm a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air, and vanished after making the kill. And then yes, the witch's captor confirms my theory. A brilliant deduction. I'm honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Primestone. She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. I'm a called crime analyst. Analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright found it, the page above the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia. Familia? What does it do? The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air and vanish when their task is accomplished. So the fake witch was actually a familiar. The evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar too? It was a familiar that took Sir Beldukes alive, and now it has appeared again. Sir Silk Hat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. Okay, if this butler kill him through the hole behind this paint. Didn't use familiar for this, but this time somebody used gold for sure. A familiar, it was this particular witch. Who the heck used it? So Butler is culprit? But what good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. Thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduk and Sir Silk Hat were both killed by the same witch. What? What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. This is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Don't render me, I was right as always. This gruesome murder will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. All ears, Miss Primestone. Please, you need to take notes during the lessons, etc. It makes no sense. So what do I have now? Familia. Shadow Familiar spell summons forth a magical familiar from the shadows. It's important that it must be from the shadows. Although it possesses a physical form, it's completely weightless. Now what happened to that alchemist? The truth obscured by a twisted ruse, which couldn't vanish, but did confuse. Because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all the issues. What?
Hold it!
It's a beautiful song show, but would you mind testifying in a bit more of a comprehensible way? As you wish, sir, musically impaired defender. Said man was killed some 3 months ago. You mean Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist, right? It was a locked-room murder, accomplished through the use of a sudden mysterious spell. And that same magic has been used in this case too. The witch that committed the crime disappeared without a trace. She hasn't been found to this day, That's pretty much what I expressed in my song. I knew all that already. Even a peerless bird, such as myself, may not always be completely up to date with all the latest information. And that's so, Cracker. You understand, don't you, my peerless feathery partner? Hold it. What? But under all bird, he's imitating you this time, Mr. Wright. Being parroted by parrots. They capture all witches, without exception. This one may have been at large longer than others, but she will not escape us. Next witness, continue testifying. It was completely useless here, I must say. It had makers pointing the knife at the witch's familiar. Let me check what I have. Magic scepter necessary for casting spells contain the golden familiar, and this will not help. And this one summons forth a magical familiar from the shadows. But this is physical form, it's completely weightless. You're talking about Mr. Belduke's murder, which took place in a locked room. Yeah, real shocker, right? Everyone was talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know what? You're thinking it too, Don't have the finest idea what you're talking about. And as clear as day, he was an alchemist, alchemists just like magic, aren't it? So Belduke was a man. Only a woman can be a witch. What's more, witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different, somehow. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature, or so it is said. Well, that sounds a lot like magic to me. Alchemy is incomprehensible to regular people. It's all magic, really. And you know, a couple of days before the witch got him, there was that lightning that struck. He's getting more and more drunk, what? Lightning? It was my word! Why are you repeating it to me? Can't you ask him, because I like telling that one? All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, there was this bolt from the sky, only it wasn't blue. Why should it be blue? Bolts are usually white. The sky lit up and turned blood red, and then, out of nowhere, an old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty powerful stuff, Yep, straight on the topic at hand, witness. This is courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later. Was it important? How can I use it? Hello, Alex. You're not supposed to watch anime?
Hold it!
And that mystery is the witch's identity, of course. Can't believe I'm getting stared down by a little kid. Don't get me wrong. I want to believe you and Maya. But I saw witch's scepter on the floor. No one else could drop it. And I saw the professor, and everything went black in front of my eyes. But I did hear the scepter fall to the floor. There was a witch in that room and it had to be Maya. Look. If only the professor were here to tell me what to believe in. He's really stupid. Yeah, I saw it. That was first. But what about second one? This C something. What do you think, Mr. Wright? You need to dig down to the truth as soon as possible. For Maya. And for Luke too. How we can do it? It would be easier if there were some clear contradiction in their testimonies, but I haven't noticed anything. Me too. Perhaps this time, I should take a step back and observe each witnesses, while they're not the one speaking. What? The four of them are listening to each other's testimonies. They give me an opportunity to question. Wait, but there was no such opportunity. Full of fun, good ideas, Isabella. Actually, not how it's supposed to help me. How about we give this a shot? But there was no such thing here.
Hold it!
I don't remember. Somebody must scream or something. But nothing is happening. Nothing. Nothing at all. What? He stopped? What the heck? But why? I want what? I'd love to stream a lot, but sadly I still need to work. And after 3 hours, really, he went offline. I'll go and work 2, maybe 3 hours again. Seriously, he's not here. Okay, maybe 1 hour. No more. But no sleep. Doing this, I cannot look at others. There's really no one's suspicion. Okay, let's do it one more time for you. Maybe something will change.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar? Oh, she changed her testimony. Didn't pay attention. I mean, no, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. And the boy opened the door sooner. No doubt, we all would have seen it. If he were my student,
No way!
I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally.
Hang on!
Is everything alright, Luke? You seem to be in deep thoughts about something. It's not right at all. There's something in Premiston's testimony that you like to comment on. That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Look what they did to Professor. Not just gold, but he's missing his hand. Dear me, what an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there's no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not. A mere detail? Matters not? Oh my. Anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be? Yeah, that ought to be looked into. What was this?
Hang on!
Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Mr. Amir. Wait a second. He's rich because he got the gold from the spell? It's Mr. Amir Punchbag. The first to you, Blue. The likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man of wealth, such as me. You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleed in, please. Wherever I bleed in? What does this mean? What is this? It's some kind of phraseology? What? Let's see. Look wherever I bleed in. Gosh, let me ask AI. What was this? I can look. Where? Ever? I bleeding? I hope it will work. Sharp bit of British slang! Intensify to show stubborn defiance. They will look wherever they please and do not care for any objections. Why is it there's so many British slang here? Well, it's Layton, of course. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I know, borrow that golden blocks or right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. Who said the spell? He stole it. Might be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks suspicious? It's not just you. Everything about him is so shady. It makes me want to double check my pockets. Mr. Mayor, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? Tell you I know nothing, nada, zero, nil, not niche. What's in it? Or heard about it? Or put it in my pocket? Me pocket. Put it in your pocket? It was me, honest, seriously, I've got nothing to do with that.
Objection!
Who said this?
Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing, you tried to deceive me!
What was his name he said? Emir? It's completely different what I was thinking. But order, who is that person? You want to know who I am? I'm Price, the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless, cheating bum. Had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you. On the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. He waltzed up to me saying he got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust. Think I know where this is going. That work of art. Could it be? Got it right here. Was it glued? Just like I thought. That's... Oh my... Professor! And the professor's arm. It's pure gold. Exquisitely crafted. It was entitled Towards Tomorrow. Something like that. I've never seen a piece of gold so fine before. And so, back to nothing, apparent that rascal was a handsome son. Who had thought? And what am I hearing now? Is that it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, a monster, as bad as which familiar yourself. Didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, I was Oh, really like that? What do you mean? I was lost on the sun, and it caught my eye right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling is such optimism and authority. I thought it looks like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it? Was it on a crude stand? Give it a totally towel dry title? Holy shit! Another British word? Tawdry. Not dry. Show but cheap? Poor quality? Wait a second. It was something like pointing to tomorrow or something. It's not so bad. Don't try and look away from the truth now. Darn it. Can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Emir Punchback's motto. How did he throw it? Just how? Well, maybe now, yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully retouched by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the Court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. Gypsy things? As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Dear me, it seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to the witnesses' testimonies, that was the case, yes. Well then, I'm sure you can see that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed, the victim's finger has a glint to it, resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity, it's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at. No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. Guess no one remembers. I'm known for the pointing like that too. Think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. She's just taking pity on me. And that's all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. Oh, but apologize to me now. Measuring me for no reason like that. That's all there is to it? Could that arm hold some other clues? I've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Mir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. When did you find it? Kinda obvious. How much did you pawn it for? Where was it lying, of course? You found the arm on the floor, pointing upwards, you said. Yeah, I did. By their skippers, I see. It was pointed straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, it reminds me of a puzzle. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that well. It was right there. What? It's not what I was expecting here. Yes. That's where you found you would expect it to have fallen. I didn't expect that. No, that's the way it was. And something definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere. There's a contradiction. He was pointing actually at the paint. This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to gold, was pointing out something important. Namely, the key to solving this case. Well, Defender, do you see any problems in the locations as marked on this sketch? There is. Just don't know what should I point here. Because there's a problem. Who? Who is? Where would that be, precisely? The professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us this so-called contradiction? What contradiction did the victim's arm create? Because he's supposed to be there, but I'm not sure what should I show. It's again depends on what people who created this game were thinking. Okay, let's show this. Or not. They thinking he was pointing to the familiar to the right. Just don't know where exactly I should show it. Maybe here. The contradiction is right here. Not this one. But why should I guess? What say you, Inquisitor Burnham? I believe that was a definitive proof that there's a contradiction here, not in the sketch but rather in this card. Skipping all this. Oh, if it's not this place, it can be this one. Still not. What the heck is supposed to show here?
Got it.
And this is the victim's arm? Yeah, when a broken arm falls on its end and stand up neatly like that, it's even less likely than a coin landing on its edge. What do you mean? There's enough surface. What the heck was this? Defender, this is not so much a contradiction as merely an oddity. An oddity reminiscent of yourself, foolish Blue Knight. I'm sure if you knocked Mr. Layton's statue down 100 times, his arm would end up like that at least once. No, the professor, I bet it would happen. I still failed! It was a secret mistake. What contradiction does the victim's arm create? I don't know, really show the cycle, show this. And I do not understand.
Got it.
What's he supposed to show? I know exactly that he was put in a different place. The last one left. Didn't I save last time? There's no way to save here.
Got it.
Lost it. I need to replay all this shit. Hate it. Well, load same data. Now I need to skip all the shit.
Hold it. No way. Hang on.
It'll take some time. Still don't know what should I supposed here. Show here. On this one. It's possible to skip all this. Not very fast. Yeah, he was not facing this way. It's simply impossible for the hand to land on the left. Or possible? I mean the staff, Scepter.
Objection.
Come on, faster.
Objection. Objection.
It'll take time. Still not fast now.
Hold it. Hold it.
Don't remember what should I press here. After this.
Objection.
Gosh, why is he didn't save? Because wait a second, why they didn't let me save? On this map, there's simply no menu available.
Objection!
Come on, go faster.
Hold it!
Seem to press here again.
Hold it!
Okay,
No way!
it's impossible to skip it here.
Hang on! Objection! Objection! Ooh. Hang on!
And now we'll understand how to pronounce his name.
Objection! You lying cheating
Me
good for
ah.
nothing, you tried to deceive me!
So it was Di Maria, Amir, Amir. Wait a second. I don't know what where the spells in this case, but he definitely said Amir. Amira. Whatever. Who cares? I don't care. Two words tomorrow. Well, normal naming. Still no problem about that. That was what? Cauldron. I'm very close to this choice. Should it will reset my time? Play it. It's not very good. So what am I missing here? Where was it lying? What is contradiction here? Okay, let me save one more time. Because I don't want to lose any hit points. He was pointing at the safe. What if I answer no, everything's fine? It's no use, there's nothing out in this cage. No, it's all good. Very well, Visitor Burnham, you may proceed. It took us longer than expected, but we have finally managed to ascertain some facts. It's automatic loot. The defendant attacked the victim using 2 magic spells enabled by the witch's scepter from the crime scene. Witnesses each saw the very moment at which the victim turned to gold and collapsed. And then the witch dropped the witch's scepter. It's bad. There's nothing here can an object tell. Objection. Object. Nick? That's wise. I didn't have a scepter. Well, the sketch again, Nick. Why the sketch? But I did look at it. I did look at it. So should I show this scepter in this case? But what will it prove? That's right. Been thinking about it. I'm sure Mr. Layton must have left us a hint somewhere. There's gotta be something in the crime scene sketch. They'll jump out at me as soon as I raise an objection. Honor, offense would like to withdraw its previous statement. What did you say? Please, if you all take a look at this floor plan, you'll notice that there's a contradiction in the location of the arm. But what the contradiction of location? That he was put in a different place? I don't know. Why I lost for this? Wait a second, what? Really need to reload here.
Got it.
And this is the witch's scepter. So it was the witch's scepter. Load. How can I load from here? Like this. 6 spells to use? But a tail also. Maybe they are better scepters. With a lot of stones. Why do you need to use the scepter in the first place? She didn't save. Some time. So saving only at checkpoints. Two tails for 8 spells? Like tails? Miles, Proverbs.
Got it.
So, the contradiction is right here. And this is the witch's scepter. Let's go over the order of events as per the witnesses' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell of the professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, that golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses agree with this order of events. Awesome. That's right. They all agree. That's how it happened. But then there's the arm. Well, what about it? Spit it out. Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now, look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the professor into gold. The scepter tumbled along the floor and was found here, accessory by the Inquisition. Per hour? Miles per hour? Now I see. It explains everything. MPH. However, that would be impossible. There's no way it could have been that. I see it now, I don't see it. The arm it was! I'm glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right here, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't possibly have fallen that way. Yes, it didn't fall before the arm. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. Order. How can you pronounce this? It's an order. How can this be? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. What Layton's magical touch. The professor sacrificed his arm to leave us just the evidence needed to throw this thing around. Don't think it was intentional. Some reason, Mr. Wright. Professor.
Objection!
An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight, that I cannot deny. Even if we are to assume your reason is correct and that girl in the cage is not a witch. Even if. In the many trials I have attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I am all too aware of its potential to confuse people, to fuddle their minds and make their memories hazy. No one can resist such a murdering influence. Are you trying to say, Inquisitor? The scepter could not have tumbled across the floor if the arm were in its way. However, can we be sure that it's where the arm was? Are all the witnesses able to confirm its location at the time?
Objection!
We've heard what they had to say several times now. They agreed that the scepter fell after the victim fell over.
Objection!
And yet, no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to that incident once more. Did the golden statue fall over first, or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and assign the fate of this caged witch. Why are you standing here now? I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there's need for further questioning. Testify once more, witnesses. Tell us of the golden statue and the Talia Magica. I was only focusing on the professor, so I don't remember much else. No, I got the last sights. That thing was glinting and glittering away, so I couldn't see much else. Bewitched by love, or beloved by a witch? The poor cow knows not which is which. What? Let me remember. How obvious it seems now. The staff was dropped before the statue fell over. Wonderful. Wait a minute. What you all say just now is totally different from your previous testimonies. Cerebral Knight, you are starting to notice it now, aren't you? It is the way of magic. Such is the effect this black art tends to have upon those who witness it. Witnesses are not lying, but simply having trouble remembering the truth. What a convenient excuse. Look as a witch. Cast a spell, bold as Satan, to frame Maya, accuse you and being witch, just to hide that he is a robot or a witch. Confronted with magic, their brains turn to mush. Ever since our ancestors drank from the fountains of wisdom and obtained the capacity for reason, it was fountain of wisdom, witchcraft has been the one thing to remain incomprehensible, even to the most intelligent of us. Nevertheless, the onus is on us. What the heck is onus? What the heck is this? Let me ask. How to pronounce? And what is it? It's on us. On us is on us. God damn it. On us. On us is on us. Burden or responsibility. Find the onus of our protection to be a light one to carry? What? So it's on us. Better not to use such words, I would say. To stand up against magic and pass judgment on these witches. And so, here we are, doing battle with the weapons of the wise words. With words shall pass judgment, and I skip it, sadly. Defender, you may begin your interrogation and help us arrive at the truth. I'm skipping the first three. Right now.
Hold it!
But you haven't said anything about that until now. Well, that couldn't have been helped. How so? No, everyone listen well. Pencils in hand. Be sure to take notes. Miss Primestone's lesson number 4. Memories are not always pretty. Some things about a forgotten, trying to remember them only leads to trouble. This will be in the exam. I know why it's the famous phrase be in the exam, when I, in my childhood, had never heard about this shit. Nobody was saying it. You're saying that the victim fell over and his arm broke off after the scepter was dropped, and not? Actually, I agree. Correct, well done. And so the contradiction is no more.
Objection!
But that's inconsistent with all the previous testimonies.
Objection!
You're quick to forget what I have told you, Sir Blue Knight. The witnesses are not lying, they are merely having trouble remembering the truth. We must do our utmost to find the truth within what they say. It's no use. These guys aren't making any sense. What Inquisitor Burnham said must be true. They've been confused by magic. Who? Who's Bephanus? We always try to make sense of what we see. So, when what we see makes no sense, we lose track of what's real. I guess that makes cross-examination a little pointless. At least when everyone here believes it's so easy to get confused by magic. Well, we need to do something, or else Maya will be done for. Listen to the witnesses again and try to find something we can use. Good luck.
Hold it!
Look, you said before that you heard the scepter fall to the floor. And that was after the professor fell over. Thought so, thought so before, but no. The more I think about it, the less certain I am that I actually heard it. How could I have been paying attention to anything else when the professor was... when he was... Memories of everything else are too fuzzy. I guess Luke was too shocked to take in his surroundings and notice anything else. Doubt I'll get any more information out of him for now. I'm sorry, Luke. I understand how hard this is for you. Let's move on to the next witness.
Hold it!
And that thing would be the arm of that shiny gent next to you, the Professor Layton, more valued now than ever before. You didn't notice the scepter on the floor? You know, I wasn't even looking at that floor. My eyes were kinda glued to my new source of income. Italian witch that brings presents? What? Had never heard about this. If anything, I have looked up at the ceiling, since that's where it was pointing. Finder skippers, huh? Into my pocket it went. By the way, there's completely no such law, for example, in Belarus, finder skippers. Finders usually go straight to prison, so when you see any valuable things on the floor, like bag, money, never touch them. Because people are waiting for you to pick them up. And immediately you'll be arrested the next hour. Trust me, it's constantly happening. It's intentional. Just don't touch. Ginger, that's... Father Frost, maybe. Someone arrest this guy, please.
Hold it!
Would you mind translating your song into plain speech? I shall simplify it once more just for you, esteemed Knight of the Card. First of all, let's talk about love. Something will happen. It's pretty neat slang, right? For cow. Love, cow. Cow is slang for a chop, you see? I don't see. Why should you use any slang?
Hang on!
Mr. Mayor, you seem to be pondering something very deeply. Got me unawares there, Bluey. This something in Mr. Brody's statement caught your attention just now? No, nothing particular, I was just thinking. That bird's song really got to me. I can feel it in my heart. Wait a second, what was the name of Ded Borodет? This one. Appreciate your appreciation of my art. Oh, I meant to ask you something. Why don't you become my private bird? You'd seen all about the heroic life of Amir Punchbag the First. Let us think of your adventures, if at least this you consider but his pronoun. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Show me what you've got. Very well, as per your request. Oh, Grand Amir Punchbag the First, your new fortune, quench your thirst. Having bravely filched the golden arm, now you dupe the pawn shop man. Hope my son was to your liking, sir. Very poetic. Your drinking manners is quite inspiring, but whatever is that skull bottle hiding? So we'll learn nothing useful at all. That Amir has questionable taste in music. Sometimes it is best not to probe too deeply, Sir Knight. Did any of the... Oh, looks like nothing changed. Well then, let's just pretend we heard none of that and proceed with the interrogation. Because I already pressed everything, and if nothing changed... There's seriously nothing to know. Oh, finding contradictions, of course. So, be right back in a minute. Alright, back. Whew. Contra Richards. I'm sure that something has changed in their testimonies, but I don't remember what they were saying. So let's press. Not this one. It looks the same.
Hold it!
Also the same, second scene. Maybe this has changed. These are really questions. Then we have the word witch. That's homophone witch. Right. Next I have the delightful consonants of beloved and bewitched. This ultimately a song about confusion. I'm confused. To be honest, there's nothing more to it. It's merely an artistic expression of my feelings. So it's not nothing to do with this case, does it? A well of melodious words and poetic music. And that's my only claim.
No way!
What? Did me? By the way, it's second time when there's pirate in the card. Hers was in the very first game.
Hang on!
Ah, he translates what pirate is saying. Look, would you like to say something? But he's not a witch because he's male! They're all sexist here. Oh, sorry, guess I spaced out a bit. What is it, Mr. Wright? You seem to be thinking pretty hard about something during Mr. Birdie's son, testimony just now. So Luke was hostile in the very beginning, but now he's completely different. There's something you would like to share with us? Well, I've been thinking about what Mr. Burnham said a while ago. What was that exactly? That humans who witness magic become confused and lose sight of what's real. And they end up not knowing what actually happens. Well, I was thinking Mr. Burnham might be right. And then it occurred to me that there might be a way. I mean, we do have with us a witness who isn't human. Oh, dearie me. How's supposed to pronounce Dury? Dearie me. Windows 11 is called Software Files of that Robot. By the way, Cube, recently I was reading about the biography of Bill Gates. I must say it's the most terrible human being I have ever seen in my life. After Edison. Maybe Edison was better than him. Gosh. So develop only one single application, and after this completely switched to business, used his own wealth to build the empire. Actually, it's wrong. Gosh. So rich people are always rich because their parents were rich, and their parents rich because their parents were rich. And it's never was anything else than this. All the time and the same. It's all in genes. Is it genes? Maybe yes. Gosh. People simply have no empathy of this kind. And this I hate the most. This situation seems oddly familiar. I asked him earlier. He remembers the events, clear or not. He said he has a memory better than an elephant. He remembers everything perfectly well. That's right. Also good. Luke can talk to animals. Mr. Wright, I know it sounds crazy, but please let me try. Let me ask Cracker to testify. Dare me. Should I? I'm stuck now, anyway, and the witnesses' testimonies are all over the place. Your testimony would be a wild card, but it might be just the thing that turned this trial on its head. It's a crazy idea, alright. If I make a mistake now, it'll put me in a tight spot. Defender, are you still with us? It's not the time, no place for daydreaming. What do you tend to do? It looks as though you exhausted all means for a counterattack, Sir Knight in Blue. Is it not time you drop your sword? Hold on, is it the same like this? I have no further questions for the witnesses, Defender. I will consider your interrogation finished. By the way. Jeeves sobs. Who was Jill Terms? I was checking who actually created IT empires, like Steve Jobs, Wozniak, etc., to better understand how it's even possible to do. And it's all about empathy. It's always about empathy. You must not have it to succeed. How the heck it's possible? Something is wrong in this universe. Thinking about emojis, whatever it's called, emotes on Twitch. So I'll send you the sub, as usual. Completely forgot about this. What will it be then? Are we finished here? Got zero time to think it over. But to make a choice now. Should I summon the party as a witness? Let's hear Cracker's testimony. Your Honor, the defense would like to summon a new witness. A new witness, you say? What do you have in mind? It's a witness you all know, by the name of Mr. Cracker. Mr. Cracker? No man by that name. Mr. Cracker. The defense summons its new witness. Mr. Cracker the Parrot! A parrot as a witness?
Objection!
This is the vicious court. Joking around will be considered a contempt of court.
Objection!
Mr. Cracker witnessed the crime. He saw it happen, and he heard it too. He is as valid a witness as the others.
Objection!
No! That bird is nothing but a pet animal. Referring to it as Mister will not change that.
Objection!
Humans are confused by magic, to the extent that they lose sight of what's real. That's what you yourself said, Inquisitor. Zacharias Burnham. I forgot how they pronounce his first name, but okay.
Objection!
Zahar. Calling me by my full name does not help justify such brash foolishness. The Inquisition is against interrogating a parrot. By the way, kind sirs, I suppose you should know that my dear companion never forgets a sound he hears. He remembers everything he hears, huh? It's definitely worth asking Cracker to testify. The court sees the situation as follows. The witnesses' testimonies do not hold together. In fact, they're as erratic and that burns songs. Hello, Mirko. CTR-AVSE? What? Cannot see this trial getting any more confusing. Very well, the defense may summon this avian witness. Can you believe it? What's up with Mr. Blue Suit? Summoning a parrot as a witness? Ornithophobia? Does it exist? Somebody afraid of birds? Somebody? Does he mean like how the ephemeral was summoned? By hook or by crook, I'll do whatever I can to save Maya. Be it summoning a parrot or familiar, whatever it takes, within the boundaries of the law, of course.
Objection!
I was not able to read the shit. Not so fast. I hardly even know where to begin, but... First of all, what's the matter with that boy looking so pleased with himself? He looks like the cat that got the cream. And you're not supposed to feed cats with the cream. It's unhealthy. It's like giving a carrot to a bunny. And that'd be me, wouldn't it? Don't mind me, just think of me as a perch for Cracker. That's all. And just what is the purpose of questioning birds? A parrot may be able to repeat what others say, but it cannot talk on its own.
Objection!
It's precisely because Cracker doesn't talk in his own words that he's certain to tell us the truth. What? Cracker remembers every sound he hears, even just the ones, with absolute perfection. So let's have him testify exactly what he heard. And if Cracker can repeat every sound, I'd say this should be a valuable testimony. Cannot believe this is happening. A witness that cannot talk will not lie, either. This idea is much to my liking. Well then, may our new witness, Cracker, testify to the court. We wish to know exactly what you heard from the beginning of the incident. What? Slam?
Objection!
He said Godor instead of... What was this? Goldor. Godor? Who was Godor from which movie? Was it Game of Thrones? Not sure. This now. Why, those are the sounds of the incident, exactly as Cracker heard them. Decorous? Whatever. Evidently, this is nothing but a farce after all. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? I must admit I found the parrot's testimony quite impressive. Even if that bird can accurately recall the sounds, it is clearly useless when it comes to the order of events. You mean there's a problem with the order? First, the witch used magic to turn the victim into gold. I just recently watched this part 7. Kinda surprised that had such a high score on IMDb. User score. How it's called here. Not sure. How the witch used magic to turn the victim into gold. Then the witnesses arrived, and the question is, they still don't know will it be one episode per week or it will be a bunch of episodes like it was with part 6, which I didn't like because I prefer once per week. That's very reasonable. Well, hundreds? It is reasonable to assume they cried out in terror when they did so. And yet, this testimony does not accurately cover such an order of events. It started with a sudden scream, followed by the door abruptly opening, and then a witness crying out. Next we heard the victim having turned into gold, falling down. So far, so reasonable. I actually heard something like Dodo. But the real issue is as follows. The parrot seems to think the witch cast his spell after the witnesses entered. Such a suggestion is inconceivable. The reason is simple. At that time, the victim had already been turned into gold. Please judge all the judges? Because he's Dios? Finished to watch it? Actually, I'm watching ongoing as it released. Or it will be impossible to watch One Piece in one sit. For example, it's more than 1000 episodes. Wait a second, Doraemon as well, but Doraemon doesn't have continuous plot. Many other animes like this. It's as you say, Inquisitor Burnham. The parrot's capacity for imitation is excellent, considering that its testimony does have some entertainment value. However, this animal's testimony, basically, I also don't like that there's tons and tons of anime, like 95% of anime had never been finished. There's manga, but never full adaptation, especially for clump anime. Gosh, I'm still waiting for the Bleach. It still has no end, isn't it? Still waiting for something. The best part actually after the Wano arc. The most boring arc for me. It was. But on this it's much better. Yeah, I was watching Doraemon in my childhood. However, this animal testimony cannot be allowed to stand as proof in this honorable court of law. Don't write Gregor over just like that. Do you now see how foolish you were to summon this part as a witness? No good, Phoenix, not good at all. Should I really go through with this cross-examination when it feels like everyone in this court is against me? But of course. The defense wishes to cross-examine the witness. What? Are you serious? Did you not hear what I said? I chosen to ignore my words? A witness that cannot talk, cannot lie, isn't there? This person's testimony is the naked truth. He simply repeated the sounds as he heard them. It's humans who make assumptions about the meaning of those sounds and arbitrarily, whatever, decide whether the testimony is good or not. But as knights of the court, should we be striving to uncover the truth to which this parent holds the king? The truth, you say. Very well, show us the truth that this bird purportedly knows. Interrogate that parrot. Meanwhile, I shall enjoy the show. Will you? Will you do it, Mr. Wright? Do you think it's hopeless? Defender, you may interrogate the witness. I already see the contradiction right here. Just wasting my time. Why it sounded like Dodo? Wait a second, gold door, so somebody closed the door with a spell.
Objection.
Yes, it's robot. Robotic cat? I don't know. The behavior. There's a critical contradiction in this testimony. We are all aware of that, Sir Blue Knight. This contradiction is between your so-called desire to find the truth and the fact that you are interrogating a parrot. That's not what I'm talking about, Inquisitor. There's a contradiction here that makes one thing particularly clear. Wait a second, if they didn't use the spell to turn Layton into gold, how the heck he was turned into the gold? Don't quite understand. Oh, he's actually alive, but he's just golden statue. But who actually was able to predict that he will appear there? I don't quite understand. It was not in the story, in the book, etc. Let's see. The fact that we have clearly all made a wrong assumption. How so? Look, can you ask Cracker to repeat the incantation once more? Right you are. Godder, Godder. Godder? According to the Grand Grimoire, the name of the gold transmutation spell is Golder. Now, Inquisitor, it would seem to me that the spell you just heard is in fact a different one entirely. Well, I never! Unbelievable! Golder and Golder!
Objection.
This is ridiculous! That wretched bird must misheard the incantation!
Objection.
Cracker is able to imitate sounds perfectly. The incantation was indeed misheard, but only by the people hearing it.
Objection.
The victim was found already in his golden state. It is proof enough that the Golder spell was used.
Objection.
But you're forgetting that Cracker heard this incantation after that spell had already taken place. Which makes it entirely possible that this Golder spell was used as well. In other words, another spell beside the gold transmutation magic must also have been used. Another spell that we haven't yet considered? Now the next question that needs to be asked is: it's the second case where somebody misheard something, like Emir, now Golder. So what is this gold door spell?
Objection.
Utter foolishness, this is absurd. As convenient as it would be for you, there is no way that a spell by the name of Golder exists. It's right. What's it? Found it. The page about the spell, Golder. It's listed in the Grand Grimoire right here. It exists? What? Order! Order! I demand order! I demand some smell. Just like I thought, Cracker remembered it exactly. But then, what kind of magic is this Golder? Well, the Grand Grimoire describes it in the following way. Golder creates a portal on two sides of green-colored what? So it actually was the magic. I saw there was a secret door, etc. because he burned some. That's portal. The portal will disappear after 5 minutes. Creates a portal? On green-colored walls? A portal spell? That must be green. Great support on two sides. And you, lucky man. Appears even the Grand Grimmer is on your side. However, there's a fatal flaw in your explanation. But what flaw is that, Inquisitor? It's really quite simple. Think back to how the alchemist's study looked at the time of the incident. Do you remember any green walls? Yes, it's here. Because I do not. There were none. All the walls were coated with white plaster. Plaster! Inside the medieval world of Final Fantasy. Well, look. Smashes everything on the table and the floor, obviously, yes. In other words, it was impossible to use Golder in that room. Well, at least Plaster processed the drywall, I understand. As I remember. Yeah, I'm sure. I too have visited that alchemist's study since the incident. I remember very well that all the walls in that room were a dull shade of white. Her little theory was interesting, Sir Knight in Blue, but was proven to be nothing more than that, a mere wild guess. As long as you cannot prove that this Golder spell was used, your little theory shall be considered no further. In all honesty, I was very surprised to learn of such a spell's existence. However, it's so ancient? Roman times? As long as it was impossible to have used this spell, that's crime scene, the deduction leads us nowhere. Let's see. How old is Plaster? Wait a second, we have AI here, let's ask it. Why should I search for it? Not sure if I type it correctly. I wanted to type yeah. Why is it here this year? God damn it! It's iOS. Constantly doing something wrong. It's super ancient, as I can see. Had never heard about this. That's so old. So, let me ask you now. Yes, Your Honor. Do you, perchance, have any proof that you could show us? Can you prove that it was feasible for the witch to have used Golder in that room? There's no coincidence. That spell must have been used at the crime scene. But do you have the proof that it was even possible to use Golder? I don't know, but I will say yes. It's been on my mind for a while, that inexplicable mark. Has to be the evidence that ties up all the loose ends. Actually, notice that I was usually trying to predict what's supposed to be the next word. So you type in something and it's changing the areas where you can press the buttons on the keyboard. So type in one thing, but it's typing completely different word. It was some gibberish, I would understand, but it's actually a word. need to change it, and they're not changing it. I want keyboard be a keyboard without any big or small errors. The fence wishes to present evidence. Impossible! That determination in your eyes made me think you would. Now then, we shall allow the defense to present its evidence to the court. But then they prove that the spell got her, assume that scene of the crime.
Take that!
Kinda obvious. The walls in the study are coated with white plaster. With all of them, though, there's just one spot, which is green. There is? I noticed it when investigating the crime scene. I may recall that there was a small painting behind the desk. And for some reason, the wall behind it was painted green. It was what? I recall seeing that painting myself too. If you look at this floor plan, let's say it was around here. That's right, I'll mark it on the floor plan. Why do you need it on the plan? How can I use it? It's been bothering me since I saw it, but now it's clear what it was. At the time of the incident, a portal opened up behind that painting. In other words, that was the wall utilized for the spell Golder.
Objection!
Suddenly persistent. Just want a portal to be there so much, don't you? The wall behind the painting was green, and that's a fact. Incidentally, I remember that painting well. It was a small landscape piece. About the size of, say, an open Grand Glimmer. Also has it now? Yes, it was about that size indeed. A small, adorable picture. What's actually Judge was doing here? Said this house. And if portal had opened in that small patch of green, no person would be able to pass through it. It's big enough. In fact, they're just about be able to put their arm through at the most. So, will you please explain how a witch could possibly have escaped through a portal this small? It's right, Mr. Wright, but we already know it was familiar. No one could go through a portal that small. Have you anything to say? Are you so crushed by the realization of your mistake that words fail you? The portal was too small for a person. It doesn't require much thinking to figure that out. But that aside, a very obvious question remains. If it wasn't a human, then what could pass through that portal? You've put an interesting spin on things. Why don't you answer your own question? Talk as if you know everything, so please enlighten us. A small portal was opened in the wall at the crime scene, and I have all the clues as to what that could mean. What went through the portal was... I'm going to save here. Is the plane outside? The witch. A small animal. Something else. No human could have passed through a portal that small. Even a witch couldn't have pulled that off. So, are you finally forsaking your mistaken assumptions? Haven't finished, Inquisitor. The fact remains that something else could have passed through that portal. And just what? Would that be, Sir Blue Knight? The portal was created after the professor had been turned into gold. The witch had a good reason behind that. She must have had to move something through that portal. So who the heck is the witch here? If it's... Who do we have? Listen, this can be a girl actually. If you think about it. Not here. You have captured my curiosity. I'd like to know what passed through the portal. Tell us, what did the witch use that magic portal for this?
Take that!
Considering the state of the crime scene, there's just one possible answer. And that is the Talia Magica.
Objection!
What? What's this now? The Talia Magica was found at the crime scene. A portal has nothing to do with that.
Objection!
Inquisitor Burnham, you're making the wrong assumption. Wrong assumption? The witch wasn't trying to remove evidence from the crime scene. She wanted to plant it. She threw the witch's scepter into the room through that portal.
Objection!
Scepter indeed. Yo, you and your crazy theories, do you even realize what you're saying? If she threw that stuff into the room, that means... Exactly, she did it to deceive us. Your goal was to make us draw the wrong conclusions. Wait a second, what was the purpose? Ah. When the incident took place, the witch herself wasn't in the room. She cast the spell from outside. What the heck? Order, I say! And that's not all. There's even more proof that the stuff was thrown into the room from the outside. What proof? That proof is none other than Professor Layton's previously severed right arm. The victim's arm? How does that prove anything? Now the witnesses have testified they saw the witch's scepter. However, a few of them claim to have heard it rattling across the door. That's right. Please take a look at this floor plan. Since the arm was standing upright here, we know that the defendant couldn't have been the one to have dropped the scepter. Now, think about it. Where would you need to drop the scepter from in order for it to end up here? That's right. The scepter could only have come from the small portal created by the spell Goldor. Go-Gadget-Door. This is most unexpected. The witch wasn't in the room when the crime occurred. Or at least, that's the defense's claim. It's the only thing that explains all the contradictions you run into.
Objection!
Cerebral Knights, with that imagination of yours, you could aspire to write fantasy stories. A nice try, I must admit. There's Rangers? However, this line of assertion is futile. There's a glaring contradiction in your words. Another contradiction? What are you referring to, Inquisitor Burnham? This is the Talia Magica that was used in this incident. As we have established, there are two magic gems in it. One for the gold transmutation spell, Golder, and one for the shadow, familiar spell, Harmonia. A witch in possession of this stuff would not have been able to cast Golder. Yes, you're absolutely alright. But you can't write off all the evidence supporting my theory as mere coincidence. Why must your agreements always be followed by a but? What I'm getting at is, this Telemagica is not genuine, authentic, better to use, as I sure how to pronounce it. Not authentic. That's right. And actually the one responsible for this deception is the real culprit of the crime. Enough of the suspense. It's too much for a man of my age. And the fans shall reveal what is meant by this so-called deception. Wait a second. What am I supposed to show here? Well, ES golden spell was used. Do you want to say that there was no familiar? Let me compare it. I cannot say that the green one looks like. Oh, which part? Holy shit, I have no idea. Okay, let's show this one.
Got it.
First, I want to clarify one thing. Can we be certain that the Telemagica in question is authentic? Finally, he's using the correct word. Without doubt, the metal rod in its center is called the Spina Magica or Spina. Wait a second, spine, it's without in the end, so it's Spina. But how to pronounce it correctly? The ridge's mark on its tip is clearly visible and highly detailed. The word that I cannot pronounce are incorrect. It is impossible to forge, even by the finest craftsman in all Labyrinthia, can guarantee you its authenticity. But I cannot pronounce the pronunciation words. Can use only Japanese spelling, and that's all. Cannot guess what is this. Let's see. The first one is Jan, the second is U, and the last one Eine? Eine? What the heck? I have no idea how to pronounce them separately as well. It leaves us with only one possibility. The fortune in question is the Familiar Magic Gem. Those think that how to pronounce words is good only for someone who is native in English, but not for foreigners. Anja, Jen, you ein? Well, maybe German it's better to use. But not English. English spelling is impossible. What? A forged magic gem?
Objection.
That is an insult to all investigators.
Objection.
Only witches can use the power of these magic gems, can't they? So tell me, how can you know whether a magic gem is the real thing or not?
Objection.
Hold there. We know for certain that the spell Golder was used. It is undoubtedly not forged. But what about Familiar? Did anyone actually see Familiar at the crime scene? That's 3 months ago, when an investigation was carried out into Sir Belduke's death. The results yielded the following conclusion. The spell Familiar had been used to summon a familiar, which in turn carried out the murder. And the witch used exactly that to her advantage. Why they can only use 2 spells? Why there cannot be another scepter somewhere? Or there's some kind of rule that one witch can have only one scepter? Another similar incident at the same crime scene. Do you think that would be the perfect opportunity? But why not 2 scepters? When you have 2 scepters, there can be 4 gems. The witch to frame the defendant for her crimes. Defendant would be blamed for both the professor and Sir Belduke's deaths, and shall be taken for the real witch. Well, Phoenix cannot know this. Had never been explained why he is not assuming that there were several scepters, not just one. Or there can be the scepter with, I don't know, 7 gems. It was the real culprit's objective. Cast magic, but the magic stuff doesn't let anyone else do it? Well, I believe any witch can use any scepter. Why not? There's a chapter in the Magic Archive. An old collection of tales of the occult. Maybe now it will be explained. About the way to test whether or not a magic gem is authentic. How can you test it, my lord? It's very simple. An authentic magic gem is composed of a mineral with a density lower than that of pure water. All you need to do is see if the magic gem floats on water. That is simple indeed. But wait a second, you can forge it and it will float. There's a lot of materials that can do that. All non-magical minerals in our world. Are you sure it's mineral? With the exception of sepiolite and a few other special kinds sink in water. Let me check this mineral. How it looks like. Maybe it will be used in the future. Where is it? Sepia. It's something white. Oh, different shades of gray. Well, if it's not a mineral, but some kind of plastic. These early sparkling magic gems, hello Sonic, however, will never sink when put into water. What? Really sinking? I'm not going to ask for proofs. It's playing Golden Axe. It's another game that I'm supposed to play myself some point of time. Oh gosh, I need to time the nickname. And it's pretty long. No, Sonic appeared in chat. Now no need to type it. Why it's always retro category? Why it's not Golden Axe category? What? I thought you were just recently, Sonic? Of this year? But I'm definitely not going to play arcade versions of this. Belief, remove this magic gem for immediate examination. The magic gems a fake? What's up with this trial? This is not how it was supposed to be. It's alright, darling, don't cry. We'll get to see which Burnham today. See, Burnham never disappoints. Hush now. There. On PC Engine. Because I don't have arcade. Usually I'm playing the real hard way if it's impossible to capture the game. They're using some cables. To arcade possible to capture. But I don't have arcade. Defender? Basically, there's so many messages from bot. Anime cutscenes in arcades? If your theory is correct, this could be the biggest occult crime in history. Wait a second, occult crime because somebody forged the witch's stuff? But another important question remains. I wonder if you can answer it. Who is this supposed real witch that threw the Talia Magica through the portal? The real witch. There's only one person that comes to mind. Frankly, I still find it hard to believe, but it's the only possibility. Once I indict her, there'll be no turning back. No other consequences. Should I give them her name? She's right. In Labyrinthia, witches are punished by fire. Now you think that's going too far. But even in a world that seems so insane to you, those who take the lives of others must be punished. That's a universal law, isn't it? The witch turned the professor into a golden statue. And that's not all. People from army, military, they are never punished for this. So no, it's not universal. She took the life of the alchemist too. Now she's trying to pin the whole thing on Maya. I can't just let you get away with that. Well then, defense, let us hear your theory. Who is this witch responsible for using Goldur and then throwing the scepter through the resultant portal? Well, here.
Take that!
When you eliminated the impossible, what remains? However, improbable must be true. There's only one logical possibility. Has to be that person. The real witch is? I still didn't try to understand how to pronounce his or her name. Jin, John, whatever. Grey Earl, for sure. Grey Earl? Heard that name somewhere. Wait, isn't that the butler who served Sir Belduke? That's correct.
Objection!
What's this about? What? Wait a second, you fell in love with Butler? No angry about this? Seem to love rolling out these ridiculous suggestions, but you ignore the obvious. Grey Earl is a male! Consider Burnham, tell me one thing. How did you check? Is it only females who can be witches? I doubt. Of course it's only females. Never in the history of this court has there ever been a male witch. You're so utterly ignorant. You should be ashamed of yourself. Alright, well, I'd like to ask another question. Is Grey Earl really a male? What? Money? What a ludicrous question. The defense is certain that Grey Earl is the witch responsible for using magic on Professor Layton. Everyone dance.
Objection!
Will you stop fooling around? This is A groundless accusation!
Objection!
Groundless, you say? I find that's way you're wrong. At the time of the crime, Grey Earl was in the room next to the alchemist study, and one of the walls in that very room was painted green. It was? Why the heck she was so stupid to paint your own wall green? Can be simply any place at all. They can easily remove it, hide it, etc. What's more, that green wall was the one adjacent to Sir Belduke's study. What? This madness! Inquisitor Burnham, quickly, have the butler summoned to the court. Have Grey Earl brought here immediately. Certainly, my lord. It shall be done. Only 30 minutes left.
Need for that.
But was this first time I heard that it's that your voice is actually a female voice?
I am here. I shall come down right away.
How long will it take? Actually, it's not supposed to be paint. It's saying green colored walls, not painted with some specific green paint. You can use some drop down.
Ah, it's you.
Well then, Mr. Wright, shall we begin?
Grey Earl. Why you didn't pronounce your name so I would understand how to pronounce it actually? Edison, wait a second. You can use the green gem, put the light through it, and you'll get this wall painted green. By the way, I wonder, am I still connected to it? Maybe not. Let me take a screenshot. Gosh, what was this? Now it's green wall. Easy. They don't, but we just can. It would seem this trial has turned in a new direction. I think we all need a bit of time to take it in. Shall take a brief intermission. Inquisition, defense, sharpen your swords and wits to prepare yourselves for the next stage of this battle. Yes, Your Honor. It shall be done, my lord. By the time we resume, the examination into the magic gem should have ended as well. Now the court is adjourned for a brief intermission. Is it a save? Really? How long will it take? I believe super long. So I'm not going to finish this card today. I save. Here it is. Chapter 4? Okay, let's turn it back. So, it's good to be that young butler. Know what you're thinking? I don't quite believe it at first either. But the evidence and circumstances all point to the butler. So, wait a second. Layton will be no more till the very last chapter if you will be investigating right now. Next will be another course, so it will be chapter 5, chapter 6. Where's Layton when we need him? Go Through Shrek and Hulk? He or she has to be the witch. At least, it will be a Satan if the magic gem turns out to be a fake. It will not be a fake. And then the case, then Belduke's murderer was also... Yeah, it would be a Grey Arrow. No, it can't be true! He wouldn't have done that! Speller? I know. Grey Arrow. He held Sir Belduke in the greatest of respect. Grey Arrow didn't kill him. I'm sure of it. Grey Arrow, are you really what people think you are? There's still so many unknown factors in this trial. Just look! I'm sorry, Maya. What I did is unforgivable. What are you saying, Luke? All you did was testify about what you saw. But I should have trusted you. Well, you trust us now, right? Maya. Anyway, look, it was thanks to you that we discovered new information. Thanks to me? Sure, you got Cracker to testify. That was a great idea. I wish I could talk to animals. Don't you too, Speller? Oh yes, love to have a chat with Eve. So look, you will teach us how to do it? Pretty please? Yeah, of course I can try. He can? But before he was not able to explain. That's a promise, right? Mr. Wright. What does it look? Do you mind if I join you from now on? Not at all, look. I realized during the trial that in this strange town, even what you see with your own eyes may not be real. That's why I'm not giving up yet. Professor, I know he'll return. We can't give up hope. You know, that's what I've been thinking too. Really? I have a feeling he'll reappear again when we get into trouble and help us out. Because I mean, it's the professor we're talking about here, right? And remember what he always says. Look forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. I don't think it was the professor who said that. Defender, accused. The intermission's over. Return to the courtroom. Alright then, let's go. It's time to bring this trial to a close. I have something for you, Mr. Wright. Here, stick it. Maybe it'll come in handy in the trial. A letter? Let's see who it's from. Wait, Lieutenant Belduke? There's several sheets of parchment inside, but they're all blank. The professor and I got this when we went to see the storyteller. It's always amused me why in English it's always someone else and I. I must be first. I is always first. It's like number one in Roman letters. Wait a second. Numbers. Why it's in English always second? Thank you, Luke. The more info we have, the better. You're welcome. Alright. Wait a second, even though it's blank, if somebody wrote something on it, there's supposed to be scratches. Got no proof that it was Grey Arrow who turned the professor into gold. Even though the magic gem is a fake, it's still not decisive evidence. I don't know what will happen next, but I do know this battle's far from over. Kinda doubt that the next game that I'll be playing will be Professor Layton. It's really hard to read all the time, non-stop, several weeks. We'll now resume the trial of Maya Fey. Maybe I should focus Layton. A mirror? Think it's possible to use it, and who the heck will use it? How it will be used will be burned immediately. Instantly. How they studied all the spells here? Oh, they from the book that this guy wrote, Storyteller. Well, things first, the cult crime analysts have finished examining the evidence. They have tested the 2 magic gems from the witch's scepter, and they checked that great arrow actually male. Golder floated on the surface of the water, whereas Familia sunk. To say that genuine magic gems float in pure water, wasn't it? Time to ask. Maybe this will help. And where's the answer? AI simply died, no? In English you would say it's like... G? Jean? It's Jean. It's Jean. No other variants. I prefer French pronunciation. Jean is better. Thus it has been established that the familiar magic gem is a fake. French names must be pronounced like in French. Odin card. Yes, that's not proof that Godor was used, of course. Nonetheless. Wait a second, it's every single K-pop fan will tell you that you must pronounce the names how they're in Korean, not in English. The fanciest theory does now seem more plausible. The court considers it worth looking into. Have no objection to that, do you, Inquisitor Burnham? Jean's fabric. Jean's? No, my lord. What was updated? It was fake. Okay. Now then, bring in the witness. Witness, state your name and profession. My name is John Grey Arrow. I served the late Master Belduke. Well, Great Britain, the United Kingdom, is very small and tiny country in comparison to the whole Europe. Z in French? No idea. Z on its own? Z actually, it's Z! I don't even know what to ask. The letter, you mean? Z, British, right. Zebra, not zebra. I remember this pretty well. A Z. In French, it's also Z. Yes, actually, it's not. Since his death, have been tending to his dwelling and putting his research materials in order. Don't know what it is, but feel like there's something a bit different about Grey Arrow today. From before, what the difference? He's male now? He has a twin? See no difference between these two pictures. Except one is 2D and another one is 3D. Ah, look at this! His coral, it's different. It looks like it was some kind of gem on it. But now it's gone. Found it. Yes, there's something we need to clarify first of all. As you're no doubt aware, have been accused of being a witch. Therefore, it is vital that you tell us. Are you a boy or a girl? Asked Professor Oak. What was his Japanese name? Don't remember. Please hold on. What is it? Excuse my rudeness, my lord. But at this time, I do not intend to answer that question. Well, you can simply lie. Why do you refuse to answer, witness? Had been following this trial from the gallery and so am fully aware of the utterly absurd accusation made against me. Alchemy, the art pursued by Master Belduke, is concerned with the rules and logic that govern nature. As someone who had been helping Master Belduke for quite some time, and I say your theory is both illogical and impossible.
Objection!
This witch's scepter was thrown into the crime scene through a portal created by the magical spell Golder. That portal could only have been opened from your room. And what's more, one of the walls in your room is painted green. I believe anyone is free to paint their walls in whichever color they please. Besides, your theory relies on one magic gem being a fake. While that may have been proven true, another question has arisen. Where could the authentic magic gem be? It must have been swapped with the fake one and discarded somewhere. Friend, that's impossible. Why? If you assume, as you have claimed, that the witch used the spell Golder, that would mean the magic gem must have been swapped after creating the portal. So tell me, when and where would the witch have disposed of such of the magic gem? Took it with her? See your point. Some people paid witness to the incident, and the Knights of the Inquisition arrived at the scene immediately after. During that time, no one left the building, and the whole place was meticulously searched. But that's... The chamber room was searched as well, although there was not much to see as I have few personal belongings. Despite our inspection, nothing resembling a magic gem was found. I assure you, I have not overlooked anything. I'll swear to it on my honor as a knight. So, Mr. Wright, if you wish to accuse me of being a witch, should you not first prove that there's a connection between me and this missing magic gem? Furthermore, I would appreciate it if you could please approach the matter in a rational way, like an alchemist. The house was searched very soon after the crime. If the gem wasn't found, that means Rare hid it somewhere. Somewhere the Knights of the Inquisition would not have looked. That could it be? The witness has made a valid argument. How will the defense respond? The knights who saw Sir Belduke's premises went looking for a magic gem. What's going on, Cube? See a message. Where is it? Let's see. That's why. There's a certain place they didn't consider search. Wait a second. We actually... Looks like we'll finish. We'll finish this one. Gosh, I have to close this one now. Alright, now we're there. Interesting. You really don't give up easily, do you? In that case, perhaps you could tell us all where the magic gem is. Tell us all. What? In Belduke's study? Grey Earl's room? In Grey Earl's possession? I would say that's in his or her possession. Salvador's premises were thoroughly searched. Don't think anything would have been missed there. You anticipated that, and that's why you hid it in a blind spot that you knew wouldn't occur to the knights. Wait a second, I didn't get it. You anticipated that. You anticipated that, and that's why you hid it in a blind spot that you knew wouldn't occur to the knights. It is. A blind spot, you say? Well, where is it? It's somewhere there. Sean Grail's person. What? It's on the witness? Don't tell me the witness has it in their pocket? You're just guessing, aren't you? I think you can't just say anything you like. Wait a second, I lost. By the way, I'm afraid there are no pockets in my clothing. Have different other pockets, I know. This is the second time I've seen Grey Arrow today. And both times, I had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Wait a second, why is the heck gem must be on her or right now? There was a long road from the mansion to the courtroom. Gosh, you can hit it everywhere. It's just me, but it could be related to the whereabouts of the magic gem. Defense, show us the location of the magic gem. Why do you think this witness hid the magic gem on the day of the crime? Here?
Got it.
Witness. You met for the first time at the Sir Belduke's premises. What I was talking about. Notice it in the court records. Just very visible. At that time you had an amethyst attached to your collar. Oh, that's right, I completely forgot about actually this. There was conversation about that. So Grey Earl always wears that gemstone. Alchemists believe that amethysts emit positive energy. Amethyst, a purple. But when I saw you in the waiting room this morning, and this I don't remember, the gemstone you were wearing was green, not purple. And now it's gone. So my question now is, where has it gone? Where is that amethyst that you supposedly always wear?
Objection.
Wait just a minute. The witness wears a purple gemstone? Something amiss, Inquisitor Burnham? When we arrived at the crime scene, the witness came out to meet us. I recall the witness wearing a gemstone, but that gemstone was green. Green? Amethyst and green, although amateurs sometimes mistake prasiolite for amethyst. But that's wrong now. Why did you say this? Witness, you've been trying to pin the blame on the defendant. In order to do that, you replace the golden magic gem with a regular gemstone. From the witch who killed Sir Belduke had used the spell Familiar. You knew that if a witch's scepter with the Familiar and golden magic gems attached was discovered at the crime scene, the suspect would be accused of committing both crimes, and that's precisely what happened. Still have no understand how Layton was turned into gold when the portal was opened, only when the spirit arrived. The girl captured at the crime scene was accused of slaying both Sir Belduke and Sir Layton. That was your plan. You removed the golden magic stone from the scepter and inserted your amethyst in its place. Well, the pirate was not able to hurl this golden when it was opened beforehand. In this case, there was a solid wall, and how the heck they used the spell in this case? Through the wall, and then you attach the golden gem to your color. Still don't know. Still don't understand. That's fine. When we saw you shortly after the incident, you were wearing a green gemstone. To think that was in fact a magic gem.
Order! Order! Witness, is that true?
Don't quite understand another thing. Why she didn't have 2 green stones and wearing right now some real gemstone, not magic stone. Saying, oh, look at this. It's not magic. Spell portal and swap stones? But how can you spellcast gold from another room?
This amounts to nothing more than conjecture. I do not believe you have any solid proof. However, I have to concede that you have surmised a logical connection between me and the missing magic gem. Consequently, I am prepared to answer your questions.
Good. I will repeat what I asked you previously.
Very close. But shouldn't you have clear view to cast the spell?
Witness, state your name, profession, and finally, your gender.
It's not telling me anything about this. Like in this case, you can turn to gold anyone at all in the whole whatever they have in here, kingdom maybe. As everyone here is alive? Maybe it's impossible. Someone must witness it.
My name is Jean Grail.
So it's
I have
Jean.
been serving the late Master Ben.
Gosh, I finally say there's Jean. I thought John sounds much better than Jean.
As you can see, I wear a butler's outfit. But the truth is, as the defense claims, I am a girl.
Oh, look at this. I am a girl. Ha ha ha.
A girl? Unbelievable. What?
Oh, what?
The butler is a girl?
Only because of the long hair. No other props here. Order in the card! Forgot what was her name? Jean Greer. I declare into this card that you are in fact female. Wait a second, in this case you just can use G-E-N, there's no second E. Yes. But everyone in town was under the impression that you're a boy. Well, it would be Genie like an Aladdin. Game for kids? Kids would never be able to finish it without hints. Wait a second, there are hints here. There are even more hints than the previous Layton and Ace Attorney games. Hear that? The butler's a girl, doesn't that make him a your mate? They're all sexist here. Oh yeah, they're burning people here to death. It cannot be game for kids. What is it rating? Depicting death? Must be not for kids. Oh gosh, how can I search for this game? Layton versus... Found it. Noxious blood. Wait a second, people afraid of blood? Not about death? Oh gosh, where's American? Cover. It's for teens! Wait a second, but I have it here. Teens! not kids. I'm not sure I cannot call somebody who's 13 years old a kid. It's already grown up. Kid is someone small, like 7 years old. You know why, right? Think about it. All that alchemy, that's mighty suspicious. Just listen to them. Listen to the wild gossip and accusations. Alchemists pursue knowledge of the rules that govern nature. But to the townspeople, alchemy is no different to magic. So you can torture people, cutting their legs, hands, just no need to show blood? That will be enough? Can they know I was a girl? They would have taken me for a witch. That's why they're burning people here. That's what Master Belduke was worried about. He told me it would be safer to pretend to be a boy. Wait a second, is it in this case illegal for kids to eat meat and cook it? Because there's blood all over the place, will be? In other words, you discover that you're female, but deny that you're a witch. You cannot eat raw steak or something when you're a kid. I mean, in the real world, that's blood here. I would have thought that was obvious. But raw hamburger is supposed to have blood. The red liquid. Well, it's not a blood, but it looks like blood. She knew that once her gender came into question. Because if there's no red liquid, it's not blood. It's already medium, it's not rare. Not raw, I mean. She knew that once her gender came into question, she wouldn't have been able to conceal it. And for hamburger, it's minced meat or whatever it's called, grounded. You actually need to cook it to medium, not rare. Because there's much higher chance that there still be bacteria on it. But if it's steak, it can have red liquid. I forgot how it's called actually. Still, it's red but not blood. That's why she's made this public now. It was the most original choice for him. Mr. Burnham, may I ask you one question? Has all the evidence in this Golden Gentleman case already been presented? Why do you ask? As it stands, you do not have a single piece of evidence proving that I am a witch. Myoglobin? What? Still don't know how to pronounce it. In the lack of... What? Pertinent evidence? Pertinent? Against me, I would like to be permitted to return to my duties. They still cannot escape the city, surrounded by a wall. What say you, Inquisitor Burnham? It has been proven that the two gems were swapped. However, it may also have been possible for the accused to have done so.
Objection!
I had no reason to swap the gems. This is a place of judgment. There's no need for us to understand the reasons behind the criminal's actions. After all, those whom we judge are otherworldly creatures, the witches. It is impossible for a human being to understand the reasoning of a witch. Then nothing we can do? At this rate, why will be... Burnham still thinks Maya is a witch. Made it this far, and yet it feels like you're back at stage 1. Since there are no more rational arguments against me. Now, if you will kindly excuse me... I have much on grey area when it comes to the professor's case. But should I just let you go? Ask about another case? Let's ask. There's nothing else I can follow up on regarding the professor's case. So what can I do? There's only one other option. Miss Grey Arrow, I have to ask you to remain at the witness stand. And there's something else you wish to ask me? Your testimony is not all yet. There's still something you need to tell us about. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I cannot help you. I have told you all I could about. I have told you all I could about this incident. I'm afraid you got the wrong idea, Miss Grail. Your Honor, what this witness needs to testify about is not the professor's unfortunate incident, but rather the incident from 3 months ago, namely Sir Balduke's death. She was present, in the building, present. At the time, working as a life-in butler, she needs to testify about the events that day. I wonder how many kids actually are playing such games and not some Roblox or Minecraft. About Sir Balduke's death? If I was a kid, I double would play Layton games or Ace Attorney. I really doubt. I would play something like, well, Resident Evil for sure. Why should I play puzzle games? Well, I did play Broken Sword for some reason. Well, if it was a Switch game, the next Layton game will be on Nintendo Switch too. Next year. Who will buy it? The fact that one of the magic gems was swapped leads me to a single conclusion. Both crimes, the murder of Sir Balduke and the transmutation of the professor, were the work of the same witch. Wait a second, the games with blood are much more popular. I mean, the visual novels. Their Escape, for example. FNAF? Playing Ace Attorney when you're playing Five Nights at Freddy? But one is horror game. It's like a completely different genre. Horror games. Truth behind the alchemist's death may also hold the answer to this case. In this case, they would play something like Silent Hill, I believe. The opinion of this, Christopher Burnham. Wait a second, what mystery was in Five Nights at Freddy? I don't remember any mysteries, just closing doors. When it was popular. Not sure about nowadays, I don't remember any recent memes on the internet. Allow you to have your way this time, Triple Knight. The Inquisition has no objections. There was no lore in game, it was outside. Created by fans only. Is there Zacharias Burnham? It seems you have lost that unyielding attitude, so admired by the townspeople. You know, letting a noise defender lead you by the nose. It's hard to believe you have been known as the unwearying sword of justice, for your usually cool-headed judgment. You know little about me, witness. Do you think I care about defending my name? It is this time that I wish to defend. Golden Freddy was a sin. Well, I was playing these games only when they were popular, the very first though, and after this, I didn't care. It lost its wife. No idea what was Golden Freddy. It was time when it lost the popularity in my area. So, Sir Balduke's murder is the only case to have remained unsolved for so long. So I didn't play this other one. Jean Greer, you shall not testify about it. Well, maybe on the stream I'll play them all. Some point of time. Next year, who knows. Oh, wait a second. Another game with blood. What was it called? with this bear. Completely forgot its name. It's super popular. It was on PSP and PlayStation Vita, PC. Happy Trigger Havoc or something. This one? With blood for children? Well, blood maybe was not written yet, but something purple. But still it was blood. Or only red blood is not allowed in games. It's demanded by both the Defense and Inquisition. Let me check the rate. Danganronpa franchise. Japan. When was the first release in America? PSP version was not released in America. No surprises. So Vita was released. Why I cannot see the rate? Okay, let's open the wiki page. Wait a second, engine is Unity? It's anniversary release, not the original one. Thinking, what the heck? Why it was Unity on PSP? Why I cannot see any rate? Okay, let's check the second release, because first release was in Japan, it can be blood in it. Classic Dragon Ball Z censorship. I watched it only in Japanese. No idea what was censorship in US. Where's the answer? Cannot find it? Or AI simply died, which is possible. Let me see. No, it's online. Hey, it's not answering me. And there's no pending actions. Hold someone's chest? Why Sekiki didn't answer me? Okay, copy on my question. And for my sure, but it was super popular with kids. I know it for sure. But I was mature. Correct. So it still sold very well. There were so many releases. Franchise was super popular. So why not to add any blood here? It still will be popular. Nobody cares about ratings. It's demanded by both the Defense and Inquisition. The witness will testify about Sir Belduc's death. Any questions? No, my lord. I must have mention one more thing before we begin. If it cannot be proven that Jean Grey Earl is a witch, as claimed by the defense, the court will irrevocably consider Maya Fey to be the witch responsible for both crimes. Despite it's physically impossible. Better for parents? Parents care about games? My parents didn't care about games. They bought me Silent Hill, for example, when I was 13 years old. That's understood. Well, because it was a popular game. Recommended to me by bestseller at the store. A-rated games, I would not buy them because adult games, it's something that you're not supposed to stream on Twitch. It's not allowed. And I would buy it for sure. You don't... For example, if I was playing this coffee something patch for GTA San Andreas, right? It was this one. Hot coffee. And when I bought the disc in the store, obviously it was a pirate disc, and it had this patch installed in the game. Playing this game, I was saying, what the heck are they doing nowadays with games? Not want the trial to end right now. Ready your sword and face the challenge that awaits. But the point is a real witch. It's a game that puts my life at stake.
Nick? Nick?
Maya.
No witch is gonna outwit you in court. You're an ace attorney after all. So, let's do it!
The defense accepts the conditions. Let's proceed with the trial. Inquisitor Burnham, you may begin. I think I will continue tomorrow. Shall start with a brief summary of the incident. About 3 months ago, in the dead of night, Sir Belduc the Alchemist was murdered. Actually, I should not skip anything about this case. Simply stuck somewhere in the middle. Let me save. And continue tomorrow. I'll have to tomorrow. Should have. Because right now I still need to spend 1 hour or so on my work. Let's double check that I saved actually. I did. Alright. So, adult games, definitely not for me, not going to play them, but M category, it's what I will be buying for my kids, for example. Why not? They must learn how the world is cruel. Second, I really like that I played Silent Hill, the first one, for PlayStation 1 when I was 7 years old, because when I was replaying it when I was 18 years old, it was completely different. It was not interesting. Well, it was no longer was fearing any horror. Was not horror at all, just regular game like Resident Evil, but when I was 7 years old it actually was interesting because you were afraid to open the doors in the game. I was thinking, shaking like, oh, what will be behind it next? It's jammed. Oh, awesome, let's check some other door. Jam is good. And actually I like that they were jammed. It was not like in Resident Evil where every single door can be opened. It was very nice effect, I really like it. So, mature games are for me. I wish I had more of them in my childhood. Sadly, not so much I played. Let's see, who will be reading? Who's still online? And so... Again, how do all these people... God of War. When I saw God of War, maybe, and of course I was talking about this on the stream. When I was buying Final Fantasy XII when it was released for PlayStation 2, Sarah was saying, hey, there's God of War 2, you must buy it and play it. I spent like 10 minutes playing this game in the store and saying, it's something boring, I don't want to. But Duke Nukem 3D I played for sure. When, again, in 1996 when it was released on PC. Didn't have PC, I was playing at Computer Club. And only years after this, when I bought this game for PlayStation 1 to play it one more time, maybe in 2002, I noticed that there were naked girls, but in my childhood in 1996, I didn't pay attention to all this stuff on PC. Key. Who should I read? As usual. Hard to guess. Yeah, and there were PlayStation 1 exclusive games with 3D Dancer. that later in the game turn into aliens. Because it's changing the time to kill, the game is called, to play it as well. Gosh, I have no idea who to rate. Let's just select. Well, sadly, that a lot of games for PlayStation 1, good games, had never been released in the United States. Then nowadays you can play some fun translation, but not all of them. It's a lot of visual novels, horror visual novels, I mean, not dating sim, that are must to play. Okay, let's read this one. Why this team is not loading for me? No idea. One more time. Let's go. HRP texture pack. Like voxels? No, of course not. Need to play the last episode for ZooCon PlayStation 1, which was different from PC. Because I was playing it in my childhood, never finished. Need to replay it. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and see you tomorrow. Good night. See you.